This is an exclusive interview with the Chief of Defense Staff of Nigeria, General Christopher Gwabin Musa. General, it's good to see you again after such a long time.
Yes, you are most welcome.
Thank you. You are theater commander in Maiduguri. You are also commander of the Infantry Corps. How would you say these two key positions prepared you for the job that you do today?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much once again. It's good to see you. Let me start by also appreciating TVC for your steadfastness, your professionalism. Your station has actually kept us going, have continued to sensitize and enlighten Nigerians on the security situation, especially right from when I was in the theater to when I was in Jaji as a co-commander infantry and now as Chief of Defense Staff. So I owe a lot to TVC and to you particularly because of your tenacity. You've been there, you've taken the bull by the horn, you've visited the theater, you've gone through, you've seen what we're doing. And also following up in your program, we're really very impressed because of your analysis in regards to the situation, and it's very, very frank and very fair. And I think that has helped us seriously in our operations. We need Nigerians to understand that the security situation we are facing needs the support of everyone. It's all society approach. It's not for members of the armed forces alone or security forces. And you have made that very, very clear every time you discuss. And I can see Nigerians are also warming up, following up what you are saying. And we'll just want to say thank you on behalf of members of the armed forces and to continue to encourage you and other media houses to remain very professional in what they do. I've been privileged with the appointments I've held. Starting from being the theater commander Operation Hatlinkai, which was my 4th tour of duty in the Northeast, and Corps Commander Infantry. These appointments actually expanded my view on the challenges we're facing in Nigeria, and that actually prepared me for where we are today. What I've understood from what we're going is that the security challenges, especially asymmetric warfare, involves everyone. Every citizen of the state has a role to play, and that is what we have tried to also bear about when we're in the Northeast, which we got the support of people in the Northeast, especially in Borno State. They gave us the best of support, and that's why we're also calling on all Nigerians to put hands together with the armed forces and other security agencies to ensure that we make Nigeria peaceful. It is not, like I always said, it's not an armed forces war. This is a Nigerian challenge, and all Nigerians must put hands together to work this out. I want to thank Mr. President for the confidence reposed on myself and the service chiefs for us to steer the affairs of the armed forces, and we will continue to do that because we remain professional. This is the only country we have. We love Nigeria and we want Nigeria to progress.
During your time as theater commander of Operation Hatlinkai, we saw a deluge of Boko Haram fighters giving up their arms and embracing peace. Would you say that this is very largely responsible for the fact that we have made tremendous progress and we do not read about the kind of attacks that were very commonplace some years back?
So true. I mean, definitely. By the time we started in July 2021, it started like a joke. Just about 11 of them that came out, and which also gave the confidence for others to come. By the time I left in January 2023, we had over 75,000 that have surrendered. As we speak, we have over about 120. Out of this number, over 60,000 are children. And what the terrorists were actually doing was that they were developing a new generation of fighters that will have been more dangerous than the parents. So we're happy and we're glad that they came out. And I think it's this, the cooperation and collaboration we had with everyone that made it possible for them to come out, because the state government too had to agree to us bring them out, provided management and administration, and we tried to make sure all those ones are coming are properly profiled with the DSS, the police, and everyone. So it was a joint effort by everyone. And I think it was the strategy that we adopted. One, carrying everybody along. Two, making it difficult for them to get the oxygen that keeps them going. That is funding, logistics, and leadership. These are critical to their operation. So when we made it difficult for them to get these things, and then the awareness through the media like we do, that actually gave them the opportunity, because a lot of them were told a lot of lies. They were told that the government was out to kill them, members of the armed forces will never receive them, nobody will take them back. Until the first set that came out and saw how they were treated and how they were received, that encouraged the other ones to come out. And they now realized that their commanders were only making money. Yes, initially when they started, it was basically ideology, but over time, it now became business. The leaders are making a hell lot of money, collecting taxes, doing kidnapping, selling fish, and all this stuff. So when these other ones realized that they were being lied to, they decided to also come out when the pressure was much.
There's a facility in Gombe where these insurgents who had decided to embrace peace looked after, reoriented. But many Nigerians don't appear to be happy at the attention being given to people who had killed so many people in the past. How is the army and the state government of Borno especially trying to balance things in a way that does not suggest that those killers are getting more attention than even the victims?
Yeah, okay. It has always been a place of concern, because most citizens have actually raised observation regards that. But one thing I want to assure them is that, yes, those ones we're bringing out are being profiled. And there will be a Truth and Reconciliation Committee. Legal aspect is ongoing as we speak. The Attorney General of Police is in charge. Attorney General of the Federation is in charge of of investigating those that have committed heinous crimes, and they will not go unpunished. That is for real. So what we are doing is that we have a way of sorting them out. Those that were really combatants, those, a lot of them were also just conscripted against their own will, made to look like slaves, were being used for farming and all other ones. Some of them were forced because, during that time when they attack a village, they capture everybody and all the males are made to fight, whether you like it or not. If you refuse, they behead you. And then the women are enslaved and used as slaves all through, sex slaves. So I want Nigerians to understand that, yes, people have offended, but we all know that God has told us that we should learn to forgive. Because without forgiveness, when we keep bitterness, it eats us up also. So it is important. Some of them didn't really know what was happening until it was later when they saw the awareness that they now came out. So it's not everybody that is going to be free. We assure them that the federal government is not letting everybody free, where the Attorney General is sorting them out. Trials are will commence very soon. So I can assure Nigerians that it's not just for them to go back and continue. And whatever it is we're doing, we're also carrying the victims along, because it's important. Part of the success of the DDR program is reintegration back to the communities. So if the communities are not willing to accept those ones, then that will be a problem. And that's why the government, both at the state and federal, are working assiduously to ensure that we get it right, and then they come back fully and let Nigeria be peaceful.
Let's talk about banditry. It is a notorious fact that bandits are now far more deadly and a pain in the neck than the Boko Haram insurgents that you've had to fight for years. How do we defeat these guys?
Yes, banditry started like a joke. And because it was not properly addressed, it now blew out. And because monies were being made, now, why is it that banditry seems to be on the increase? It has become a social malaise, an all-comers affair. Criminals have joined up. Individuals that are unemployed are joined up. Youths not engaged are joined up. And the way out, good governance. We must be able to encourage our local governments to be very, very efficient and effective. We must be able to introduce fairness, justice, equity, so that we can encourage the youth to stay back and work. Now they have seen a simple way out. You capture somebody, you keep, you collect money, and everybody thinks money solves all the problems. Yes, money is good, but money is not everything. And that's why we need to have law and order. Why some of these things are going is over time we left our forests open. These guys will be able to take advantage of such forests. Our borders, we need to improve on our border management system so that people, because if you see a lot of foreigners are part of these people coming here because they believe Nigeria is rich. They can come in and do whatever it is they like. So we're working with the state government, we're working with the federal government together to ensure that we bring out this issue. First of all, the awareness for Nigerians not to support them. We have a lot of people, especially the informants. Part of the people making this very are part of the informants that also give them information. They tell them number of soldiers, where the troops are going, when the troops are moving, and all these things. And this, even trading. In fact, sometimes they even give them women. There are people that bring women to them, bring a lot of funny things to these people. So our advice is people should stop, because for us, the friend of a thief is a thief. And that's why we have a zero tolerance for that.
Yeah, and people will say that the primacy of intelligence gathering has not been maximally explored by the armed forces. It keeps coming up in every discussion. What are we doing by way of intelligence gathering and all that? What are you doing to improve our intelligence gathering assets and make it the real focus of your military campaign?
Yeah, thank you very much. Especially from the Northeast, we try to improve the intelligence gathering, especially human intelligence, and it improved greatly. In fact, that made a lot of difference. Now, coming to the Northwest and North Central, the issue of human intelligence. Yes, it is there, we're getting intelligence, but sometimes because of lack of infrastructure, mostly they rely on getting where they have service, on GSM service, to relay information when something is happening. A lot of the areas they don't have. So even when they see something happening, they have to walk towards where they can get a network. And normally it comes in quite late. And by the time it comes, when you move, because those the criminals know that they are dealing with time. So whenever they come, as quickly as come, do what they want and disappear into the forest. So most times when we get human intelligence, it's late. Now we're working with our Defense Space Agency administration to see that our satellites, we have satellites that will be able to give us real time, because that's what makes a difference. If we get information as at when issues are happening, we take adequate actions as quickly as possible. So we're working on that, and we're leveraging a lot on technology. But most of this technology, we don't make them, we don't manufacture them here, so we have to rely on buying them. Now with the Ukraine-Russia war ongoing, a lot of the equipments are really a bit difficult to get, even with your money. It's difficult to get them, and that's why I'm happy Mr. President has approved for DICON to be able to provide the platform for us to invite other ones to come and manufacture in Nigeria. This brings the industrial complex that Nigeria must produce what we need, because this has clearly shown us why these challenges are ongoing for this long is because we can't even get all the equipment we need to fight this war. And so we are hoping that by the time we start producing them, we will be able to stand up. But as it is, the intelligence gathering is, we're managing what we have, and it's making a lot of difference.
People have complained, as we go back to banditry, people have complained that the response time to attacks when they happen on the part of the armed forces is usually too slow. They point at the fact that bandits will attack a school, move over 100 children into the forest, and by the time we try to respond, they are already safely in their camps, and at that point it's difficult to achieve any form of rescue. What are the impediments to quicker response to this kind of attacks?
All right, thank you very much. Again, this comes with lack of infrastructure. I'm sure one of these days we'll embed you in one of our operations so that you get to see how the terrain is. The terrain is dangerous terrain. Again, no roads. Now, especially the last incident of when the school children were taken, we did not get that information until the next day. So they had enough time to do whatever it was they wanted before they left. So these are the issues of infrastructure. And then besides that, the issue of IEDs. You know, even in the theater, we have discussed this issue of the menace of IEDs. The greatest casualties we get now comes from IED. One IED can destroy a whole MRAP that is costing over $20 million. One. You know, so, and then it will kill almost everybody inside. Or if you go to medical centers now, you see troops amputated, you know, just because of IED. So that has become a great risk. And realizing the dangers, because we don't have roads. So you see a 10 kilometers road that you are supposed to react quickly. But because of the fear of IED, now we're only left with hand products. So you have to have somebody that will go down for 10 kilometers on the road, scanning the width and length of the road. If he makes a mistake, he's gone, or the vehicle is gone. So that actually slows us down drastically. And so we're hoping if we get modern equipment, there are drones that could go ahead very fast, be able to scan depth and be able to see if there's anything, or MRAPs that have those facilities to do that. We don't have those. So we have to still rely on using hand products. And so this actually delays us. So when most people think, no, troops are not moving, if you move hastily, you are gone. And I can tell you that's the greatest threat we have. So we have to tread carefully.
I thought that those MRAPs were actually IED resistant.
No, yes, resistant to some extent. It depends on the magnitude of the IED.
So the bigger the IED?
The bigger the IED, the more destructive it is. And they realizing that IED, because once they see what you are doing, they also want to scale up. And that's why we went ahead to deny them the ability to get urea, because urea was one of the things they were using. And that's how we banned, and it's a struggle, because when farmers would like to use urea, we know the dangers. You know, so it's a balance. Striking this balance is not easy. So, but we forge forward.
People also complain that the very notorious ones amongst them are not being killed in operations and all that, and that encourages or lionizes other bandits. Why has it been difficult for us to militarily make examples of these bandit leaders, the Bello Trujis of this world, Kachalas?
Yes, thank you. It's still the same thing, that if we have adequate information, because we need to know where they are to be able to. But I can tell you that between January to now, we've killed over 10 of the bandit leaders, different leaders. Even the Tuji himself was injured. We missed him just by the whiskers. So it's an ongoing operation, and I know it's just a matter of time. We're sure we're closing on, and they know we're closing on. So most operations, they don't even go in passing. They stay behind and send their troops ahead because they're in the hiding. But we'll continue to push, and I can assure you that we get them very, very well.
Some people have suggested that anytime we are closing in on these guys, then conversation about amnesty and all that sort.
Yeah, but you know, it is.
What is your attitude to amnesty with these brigands, with these people?
I don't encourage amnesty, but I encourage surrender. Surrender is part of war. If you're fighting somebody and he drops, and operationally, if once somebody drops his weapon, and we're duty bound not to kill that individual, so we'll do that so that the laws will also take its course. And that's what we want to encourage. But for us, neutralizing them is number one priority, as much as but we're going to do it professionally, so that we'll not be accused. You know, we have been having run-ins with international organizations, human rights, accusing us of one human rights abuse or the other. We have remained very, very professional. But I can tell you that for us, taking out those criminals is number one priority. But if they surrender, then we will be duty bound to hold them. But we don't encourage amnesty, we encourage surrendering.
Do you think amnesty will not work?
No, I mean, if you just tell them, go and don't sin anymore, tomorrow you don't know what he will do. So let's get him, he will come and surrender, and then he will follow the legal system, and the legal course will be taken against him.
Okay, let's talk about Zamfara. Zamfara is a big problem when it comes to banditry. It looks like the epicenter of it. What is the real problem that we face in terms of banditry in Zamfara?
Zamfara issue is, like you said, is a very huge issue. Why? One, infrastructure is lacking, abject poverty is strife, and then we have the farmer herders clashes, we have the Hausa Fulani clashes, which is also aggravating the whole issue. And then the introduction of the security, the Ensakai, that was also introduced. That has also cost. And so, unlike in the Northeast where we had a controlled civilian JTF that were profiled and all these things, the ones in Zamfara have not been properly profiled like that. And so we are working towards making that. And because in the Northeast, what we did, we profiled them, the DSS did the profiling, the state government were the ones who actually identified the youths, and then brought them in, and then we trained them and kept them under our command. So they could not operate on their own. But the ones in Zamfara had some level of freedom. And so sometimes even when you want to have a control, they go out and do other things. And it is this tit for tat that's actually causing the problem. So even within the Fulanis, within the natives, we have people, criminals within them, that go about rustling animals. And when they all rustle animals, the Fulani man feels, because to him, the cow is everything for him. And so once you take out his cows, he feels in fact, to him, he's as good as dead. He wants to take revenge. So, and then the issue of politics. A lot of issues on that place because of different camps here and there, aggravated by drugs, the use of drugs and illegal mining. Now, illegal mining, again, has also brought out another great issue. Because now with illegal mining, they are making money. People are looking for who to come and protect them, provide protection for them. So they also encourage these people to also do. And because of the monies they are making, it also encourages them. So it is it's a portfolio of challenges. But we're addressing them because all mining sites now are being closed to ensure that these things are stopped completely. The Ensakai are being brought under control so that we make sure that these are done. And then so that we deal with criminality. I can tell you what is going on mostly is criminality.
I'm actually one of the people promoting the idea. That is declaration of a full-scale war against banditry across the contiguous states that could even last months. Why have we not considered this suggestion rather than the current approach?
The current approach is declaration of war. We're fighting a war against individuals that don't mean us well. So we have classified all of them as terrorists and we're declaring them, and that's the approach. Now what we're doing is that we are also readjusting our operations now to make it very, very holistic in all we are doing. We want to see how we can make sure that all the gaps, because there are gaps within, because of the large expanse of the area, and because of the forest we have, and then the porous border, those are the things aggravating and making it a lot more difficult. But we're adjusting and covering all those gaps with troops. We have just embedded additional troops and equipments that are moving in. We're happy Mr. President has given us more approvals. We're expecting to have more helicopters that are coming in and more drones so that we can be very precise in our operations. Why it is difficult is if it is during conventional warfare, we could just sit down with aircraft and cap a bomb everywhere. We can flatten the entire area and start all over. But now, because one, you are dealing with insurgents, you are dealing with bandits, you can't identify them because they blend with the communities. Yes. So if you go there and do the wrong one, and then it becomes a problem. You can imagine the issue of the drones, the mistake that happened and how it happened. So that's what makes it. So we have to be very precise as to what the operations we're carrying out to avoid collateral damage, to avoid killing innocent civilians.
Would you say we have enough troops to defeat these threats?
Well, if you look at troops, there is no country that has enough troops. Even the US does not have enough troops. What we want to leverage on is the use of technology and equipment, which we're struggling to get. Why? Because, like I said, the Ukraine-Russian war, most of the equipment now, for you to get ammunition, for you to get weapons, is extremely, extremely difficult, except if you go through the black market, which is another negative aspect of it. But we'll continue to push in what we're doing. We're sure the measures we're putting in place, we're adopting the same measures we put in the Northeast now, adopting them here, making life difficult for them to get logistics, funding, and equipment. And that, I think, is going to give us the success in what we're doing.
Let's talk about welfare, morale of troops. What are you doing differently because a soldier that is well motivated can give his all.
Very well. I agree with you totally. Since last year, we've discussed several during our presentations at the National Assembly the need to increase the welfare of our troops. The salaries, a private soldier collecting less than 50,000. The RCA just about 1,500 for feeding. The president has listened to that. The National Assembly is working towards that, and I'm sure very soon there will be increment on those issues. For the troops, I'm sure you have, for the past years now, you've not had anybody soldier complain about lack of payment or shortage of funds or equipment or uniform and all these things. Now, those things are being addressed across both Navy, Army, Navy, and Air Force. We ensure that they get the required, are taken care of. Those ones that new prosthetics are issued. Those ones with serious cases are even flown abroad. If not taken to, now we have some very good hospitals in Nigeria. We also take advantage of those ones so that we treat them, and the system pays for them. So that's why you don't hear any complaints these days.
At the time when Nigeria bought the Tucano jets from America, many Nigerians were excited. They felt that the Tucano jets
was a silver bullet
that would take out banditry from our land. As a former theater commander in Maiduguri, how would you assess the contribution of the Tucano jets to our efforts to defeat criminality?
Yes, yes. Actually, there was this very, very high expectation, and before their deployment, everybody felt that once they come in, then everything is gone, which doesn't work that way. Asymmetric warfare basically requires helicopters. The basic weapons we need are helicopters and drones, MRAPs, gun trucks. Then the issue of counter IEDs. If you have this, and then the tracking system that will be able to track those criminals and be able to pick them up. Those are basically what we need. The Super Tucano has done its best. It has contributed, because fixed wings, the turning radius of fixed wings are always very delicate, and then the criminals already know how to avoid it. Once they stand and it passes, it goes, and before it turns and comes back again, they've moved. So, but helicopters are ones that quickly can remain engaged, move here, provide logistics, provide support, and all these things. So we'll continue to use them. They are still very, very useful, but they have limitations. Even the noise, the idea of having fixed wings. But like I said, we are working towards getting more helicopters, more drones, and with those ones we'll get more results.
Let's talk about Army aviation. Army aviation had been on for some time. And I remember Major General Olaumi was even a commander at some point. Is the Army still very much interested in pursuing this course, despite the setback that we had at Tudumbiri?
Yeah, Tudumbiri was a drone. It was a drone. I'm sure recently Americans too had their own issue. Drone. Yes, Americans too had their own issue with the drone. So when you use technology, we're human beings. There are bound to be mistakes. It was never deliberate. So Army aviation is here to stay. Army aviation, very soon they're going to get their own helicopters. It is just to add and complement what the Air Force has. Air Force is more of strategic fighters. Supply, transportation. The Army aviation will assist the infantryman once he's moving. It flies above him, gives him close support. Close support. That is, he's going to fly ahead of him. He will be there with him. He will provide all those things for him. So it's just to complement what the Air Force is doing. And so that's no. And if you remember, if you look at the Air Force in the world all over, Pakistan, all of these countries go there. The Army has its own. The Navy has their own. The Marines in the US, they have their own. They have their helicopters. They have their fixed wings. They have their. So it's not anything new. The mistake at Tudumbiri, like I said, it was just a professional mistake. We did an investigation and found out that it was not. And what actually led to that? A few days before that incident, there was an engagement, because that area is a major crossing point for terrorists, for the bandits. And again, they hibernate, come into the villages one way or the other at night and do one or two things. So there was a conflict. Some soldiers were killed, some terrorists, some bandits were killed a few days. So there was a total concentration on trying to find out what was going on. Now, what we have told the community is, please, if you are doing anything you are doing in that area, because of the nature of that area, inform the troops. Now, this procession that was done that day had never taken place in that place for over a year. So with that, and then when they were doing the procession, they didn't tell anybody. And then at that particular instance, we're also after some terrorists that were also moving the same way the procession was ongoing. So the drone man, I think following it, when he saw them, got confused between the two. And the mistake happened. But like I said, it was a professional mistake. We've learned our lessons. We've retrained them together. The person that actually did the mistake, though it's a professional mistake, but again, there must be actions will be taken legal actions will be taken against him to deter others from same thing from happening. But like we said, it was never deliberate. It was never targeted. That community has both Christian and Muslim. So the idea of people making it look as if it was because they were this religion, that's why they were targeted. No, both we had Christians that died. There are Muslims too that died. The state government and the federal government are also assisting the community to ensure that they resettle back fully. But like what we tell all communities, please do not have anything to do with the bandits. Do not, if you see them, even when they put you under arrest, try and report as quickly as possible. If they had done that, I'm sure this student breeding thing wouldn't have happened. But like I said, it was a mistake. It was a costly mistake, and we have addressed them. Training have been done. We have enhanced training between the Army and the Air Force drone operators so that they work together as a team, so that we avoid such mistakes in
some people don't want the Army to even get involved in such area battles, even flying drones. They believe that you should concentrate on your own area of strength and capability rather than get involved in what you need.
There is no way you don't need the drones. You need the drones even for security situation awareness. Once you are moving as an infantryman on ground, you need to know what's going ahead of you, and those are the things the drones provide. And so what we are doing now, we're bringing the whole drone organization under the defense headquarters. So the drone will be the drone for the Navy, the drone for the Army, the drone will come under one control, one command. So if they are going out for an operation, we provide unified command for them throughout. So it will avoid all these issues of personalized drones.
Yes, you will agree with me that when this kind of accidents happen, you lose the confidence of the communities, because they will recall that, oh, these people dropped their weapon on us the other day and killed our people. And you need the communities to assist you to defeat the enemy. But when this collateral damage, like the type that happened in Kaduna State, when they happen, the people then begin to see the military as an enemy.
No. Actually, I think that was a mistake. People had that impression, but I can tell you, no. They all now they understand that the military was there for them. They know we have died for them. They know we have sacrificed so much for them, and they know this was a mistake. I've been with them. I've discussed with them directly. The Chief of Army Staff was with them. The Minister of Defense was with them. They all understand that it was a mistake. And I can tell you, they are receiving us warmly now. And all other communities, if you go to Borno, yes, mistakes have been made. I can tell you that greatly. It happens all over. I remember I just told you last week or 2 weeks ago, America had the same issue. With all their technology, they equally had mistakes with their drones, with all their technology. And so many other countries, as long as they are fighting a war, there are bound to be these mistakes. Nobody is perfect.
Let's talk about the Southeast. We have a peculiar threat in the Southeast. Some people insisting that no one should go to work on Mondays, and they've been killing soldiers, especially. How do you assess the security situation in the Southeast relative to the capacity of the armed forces?
Yeah, the Southeast has its own challenges because of, again, the nature of the terrain. The terrain plays a vital role. It's thickly forested, so it affords you, somebody can, and then you just be passing by, and then so it makes it a bit more difficult. Even with your air, in fact, it makes it difficult more with air. Even when you fly abroad ahead, you hardly can see anything. So that makes it extremely, so we have to fine-tune the training of the troops there to jungle warfare. And jungle warfare has its own different challenges because you cannot use a lot of equipment they're using. You have to go fully dismounted. And because, again, those are their own areas, a lot of advantages they have that they've built up within. But we're getting so much, successes are really very encouraging. What is going on in that area is purely criminality. And I can tell you, when we've entered the bushes, what you see, I want Nigerians to understand that it is, you see them killing, dismembering, removing parts of human beings. You see a lot of vehicles that they just see a vehicle, catch person and just kill him. There are a lot of graves all over, scattered all over the places. You see corpses, skeletons. It is just simple madness. And they do, we see a lot of rituals. They do a lot of human rituals within those areas. So it is much, and that's why it's important for us to be able to follow up again the leadership, especially this Simon Ekpa that is in Finland. That is causing this a lot of problem by his comments. The federal government has taken that up with the Finnish government on the need to be able to curtail that, and then we're also following through the cyberspace to be able to address those issues. We are seeing people that are also sponsoring them. There are a lot of people that are sending funds to them. We are aware of that. We're profiling them at the right time. All of them will be picked. International organizations have, especially the US and the UN, are aware, and they are going after them. There are a lot of them in the US and Europe. They are contributing money to what is going on in that place. And so all of them will be both within the local area. So like I said, it's basically acts of criminality. The people are, and then the issue of drugs. This is why NDLE2 is doing a great job. We need to take drugs out of our youths, because that is aggravating what is ongoing on those general areas. But we are working very hard. Troops have gone back in again. We're clearing the whole area to ensure that we get them. So we want to encourage people. And of late, we have had some of them too that are also willing. They are tired. They are also saying that, look, they want to come, but they have commanders that are making money. This issue of money, that is what is actually, if you watch the entire country, all these issues of criminality rolls around money. People feel once they make money, they can get away with anything. And that's what was encouraging them to do. And so that's why it's important for us to encourage good governance. Because if local governments are working, for example, it makes it a lot easier. We also want to encourage the federal government for us to have a comprehensive census. If you go abroad, you commit an offense, it's 50-50 chance you'll be arrested. They're not using witchcraft. It's because they have data. We need to build that database. And if it is comprehensive, wherever you are, once you are cited or your signature is seen anywhere, it's easier to track who did this, where, and how. So that's why we want to encourage issues of things like having a comprehensive census for Nigeria, so that it will assist the security agencies in performing their work.
What is the extent of the Army's investigation of the killing of his officers and men in Okwama?
Okwama, yes. We have I think the report is just in. We're going through the report in Delhi. It's again acts of criminality. We have cultists, those guys are into sea piracy, into illegal oil bunkering. So they've been able to make some money. And if you go there, they do a lot of human sacrifice. And that's why you see that when they kill those soldiers in cold blood, yes, they dismember their bodies because to go and satisfy their shrines. So it is this act of, and it is because over time these guys have been made to believe that they're untouchable. And you remember within that general area, about 19 policemen were killed not long ago before this incident happened, and nothing happened. So that's why we.
So will nothing happen in this case too?
No, so definitely something will happen. It's happening. We have identified those ones that are involved. We are going after them. And then what we're trying to encourage, because there are some people that want to give them safe haven, we want to advise them not to, because we are watching everybody. At the right time, we'll pick them. And anybody during investigation will find out that you offer one assistant or the other to them, you too will be part of it. So we want to discourage anyone from supporting them. Please let us have the report where they have moved into the creeks as we speak. But we're going after them and we're going to pick them up. And we have also informed all their borders, the immigration, to be watchful for all these individuals, because some of them might want to escape.
Have you made some key arrests?
Directly, no. But the good thing is that the investigation has brought out things clearly. Those involved, there were people that played. And you know why this thing was so painful is, Lieutenant Colonel, we were together with him in the Northeast. He was a commanding officer. He did extremely well in the Northeast. Came to Kaduna, did extremely very well. So being there as a commanding officer, he felt that these were just Nigerians. People we discussed. They know themselves. It wasn't so when somebody is saying that they thought no. They know themselves. They talk to themselves. They were on phone with themselves discussing this issue, and they assured them no, there was not going to be anything. And so that's why when the CEO himself came, he told his troops, he dropped his rifles, raised his hand and said, look, I'm here for peace. And they opened fire and killed them. And not only kill them and then disbowel them, open them and cut their heads, remove their parts. No, no, no. That is unacceptable. We will never take that. We will follow the rules, but we'll get them.
No, the army has withdrawn from the community.
Yes,
what does that portend?
we did. No, we did a comprehensive cordon search because there are a lot of weapons and all this because of their ability for bunkering. You know, they get a lot of money from bunkering, so they buy a lot of arms and they use within those general areas. So we've been able to at least move around to get those things out. Now we know that they are not within the communities. We have sent them out. We are going out into the creeks now to go and look for them.
Let's talk about army, or let me say the armed forces and relations with the civil populace. Would you say there is some level of improvement?
No, I think it has improved. I mean, for the first time during this Okoma incident, the letters I got from all over the world, I've never seen that happen. Nigerians wrote, they did not even call, apart from calling, they wrote letters, to commensurate with the armed forces. Everybody did. And I think that is really, really warm. For the first time, we can see that. Because everybody saw it, that, look, this thing was done in, it was done in
very cruel manner.
Very cruel manner, and then and that is why you see.
And you didn't level the place.
No, we didn't. It was a measured response. We tried to avoid that because these are Nigerians. It's the armed forces of Nigeria. We're supposed to protect Nigeria, innocent Nigerians. So we'll never want to hurt any Nigerian, and that's why we encourage Nigerians. If you see any of our troops misbehaving in any way, in any form, please report to the closest military representation. We take responsibility for our acts, for our actions. We have standing court martials all over the region, all over. So anybody who commits any offense goes for it. In the theater, we have done a lot of commercials. We have read out the disciplinary measures being taken. People were sent to jail. People were dismissed. So we continue to do that.
Some of your men actually connive with bandits. And I remember your predecessor, your immediate predecessor, complaining that it was such a big problem.
Yeah, it is. But what we're doing is that as we're also walking and watching out, we're also looking inwards to see what our men are doing. And that has helped us alone. Anybody will find out that is conniving with them. Like, where do we get the men for our personnel? It's from the society. So we also get the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the good thing is that the armed forces has a way of identifying those ones and then taking necessary action. So we've been doing that. We'll continue to do that.
I want to take you back to Kaduna State, which is your state of origin. Although some people...
I'm a citizen of the country.
That they wanted to actually claim you as a Sokoto boy. Yes. But the truth is what it is. From Kaduna State. A considerable improvement has happened in terms of the security of Southern Kaduna especially. People are saying, we can't, it's because our son is the CDS. Is that really the cause of the improvement that we've seen in the security of the area? Or
no, I think it's, if you notice that generally the security situation has really improved and has continued. It's not only in southern Kaduna. Yes, not only in Kaduna. Is the entire. I think what happened is that before now, they had this impunity. There was a lot of things they were doing and nothing was happening. So they had the freedom of movement. But bringing this idea that the strategy we adopted in the Northeast in what we are doing now is zero tolerance. We are going after them day and night. Any report we get, we follow up. We encourage the citizens to give us report, and they're giving us reports. So it is this proactiveness. And then the commanders we are picking, now we are deliberate on the commanders we appoint as commanders for our operations. If you notice, the commander in Jos operations, Safe Haven, was commander in Northeast. He's brought. Mutkut was commander in Northeast. He's there. So we are bringing tested individuals with experience.
Also worked.
Mutkut was in Northeast. In Northeast, yes. Saraso one div just came out from Damaturu. So we are picking people that we know are committed, are professional, and are fearless. Because we want results. So we don't want. So we follow up what the commanders are doing down to platoon level. If we get anyone who is not really performing well, who is not showing commitment, we remove him and bring somebody else. In fact, that's one of the areas that we have really been able to do so much. And so we'll continue to do that. And then training. We are conducting training and retraining, both in the theater, at Jaji, and all other locations, because we want to make sure that our troops are professional in what they do. And I can tell you, because of our conducts now, even we have troops securing other countries. In Liberia, Liberia we have training team. In Gambia, we have our part of AU and ECOWAS that they are securing, assisting the Gambian government in stabilizing them. Sierra Leone has actually also written to request for us. Central African Republic, so many other countries. And so we'll continue to do all this to ensure that we remain very professional.
Thank you so much, CDS, for the opportunity to speak with you again today.
Good to see you again. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right.
Yeah, I dare say it becomes refreshingly different when you hear a defense chief speak in a no-holds-barred manner like that, with the one and only Babajide Kolade Otitoju.
Yes.
Yeah, BKO, you know, some notes I've taken. Let's quickly run through them. I don't support amnesty. I encourage surrender.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of over 120,000 converted insurgents.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do with them?
You have to find a way to profile them and reintegrate them into the society.
Okay.
Some of them were taken against their wish to go and fight on the side of these bad people. So, and a lot of them are children and women.
Okay.
So, not really their fault, but that is what it is. I think the Chief of Defense Staff spoke like a very honest Nigerian and a very honest general when he said, look, we have to address the matter of
shooting
poverty.
from the hips.
Yes, he said we have to address poverty, you know, if we want to defeat banditry.
Yeah.
And he confessed that poor infrastructure is one reason they don't respond quickly to distress calls, because the roads are bad and the terrain is treacherous.
That's it, yeah.
So
when he said something like informants making it difficult to defeat armed banditry, what crossed your mind?
Yes, people have been hired by these bandits to provide information about troops' movement, to provide information about the movement of their colleagues, their people who live in the same area as them. So as the military is trying to defeat armed banditry, you find that some Nigerians are conniving with them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, and it's such a problem.
Makes the job
It makes it
tough.
difficult, because you are supposed to work with the military. You are supposed to support them the best way you can so that they can succeed in their mandate. But our people are working with the enemies of the state. It's just terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Just terrible.
Oh, yeah. Now, hear this. The morale of troops is key in the fight. And I heard him talk about government attending to the needs of servicemen, which is...
Yes, I think it makes sense to pay our soldiers, our servicemen well. I was pained to hear him say that, talk about a situation in which an army private receives less than 50,000 salary. I mean, this is distressing to hear. We cannot be paying peanuts to people who lay down their lives to keep us safe.
Oh, wow.
The sacrifice that these guys make is huge. You need to go to military hospital and see people with see amputees all over, people without limbs. You know, it didn't just happen. It happened in the line of service, working for their country. So we can't be paying soldiers a salary that is not enough to buy a bag of rice. It makes no sense.
Oh, yeah.
It makes no sense.
Quickly, I heard him say about 10 bandit leaders have already been taken out. That's good.
Yes, and we're encouraging them to take out more bandit leaders. Some of the most prominent bandit leaders are still there. Bello Tuji, Kachala, you know, just recently a rival bandit group killed Sani Dangote. We need to kill a good number of these guys to serve as deterrent to others. That's what we want to see. It's not no two ways about it. If they choose to continue to fight the Nigerian state, then they should be ready to pay with their lives.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Judy, but there's a breaking story from Kano State. I thought I might as well just share it.
Yeah.
A one-time dismissed emir of Kano and the former governor of Central Bank, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, has been reinstated.
Yes, the law was the law that broke the Kano Emirates into parts.
All right.
Was abrogated, and all the people who got appointed as a result of that law and the amendment, the law now says, okay, stay aside. You are no longer, you are, by the amendment, you do not exist anymore.
All right, all right.
So I guess that is why we found ourselves here. And I know that as we go on, we will get more facts. This came as a shock.
All right, we must go, but I shall not forget to say this. The Chief of Defense Staff says TVC is giving what they are doing for the country prominence. I think it's a plus.
Yes, and I feel proud about the work that we've done on the military, going with them to dangerous locations. I'm proud about his choice of words and his appreciation of our work.
Okay.
We'll continue to do our best.
We must go. That's it on the show. If you missed any part of this, not to worry. At 11 later tonight, a repeat broadcast will hit your airwaves. Take advantage. On Sunday from 1